My name is Desiree Armstrong, and I'll be your privileged mistress of ceremonies this morning. As we continue our celebrations here this morning on this Good Friday, I will now invite to the podium Mr. Enville Williams, our Commissioner of Police of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, to bring remarks. Commissioner.
Thank you very much. Honorable Grenville Williams, Attorney General, Your Excellency, Ambassador Fang, Ms. Luan Thomas, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, and other senior staff from the Ministry of National Security. Commander Henry ACP Bailey and other senior members of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force and other police officers, senior public servants, representatives from Flow and Digital. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
It gives me great privilege to deliver these remarks today at this closing ceremony for Phase 2 of the Enhanced Public Service, Public Safety with Intelligence Video Analytics project, a project that stands as one of the most transformative public safety, public security initiatives in the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This project was born out of a clear and urgent vision to strengthen public safety. Okay, let me take it again. This project was born out of a clear and urgent vision to strengthen public safety in a rapidly evolving world through the application of intelligent surveillance technologies. That vision took a major step on March 10, 2023, when the governments of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Republic of China on Taiwan signed the Phase 2 implementation agreement. Since then, we've made exceptional progress, including major infrastructure improvements such as the upgrade of the e-government training room, the newly outfitted operations center here at Kittels Police Station, and the enhancement of the ITSD server room. These achievements are a result of a strong and robust and continued growing partnership. First and foremost, we recognize the government and people of the Republic of China on Taiwan. Your continued support through funding, equipment, training, and technical guidance has enabled us to build something that will benefit generations to come. Your friendship remains a cornerstone of this nation's public safety modernization. We also thank wholeheartedly the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, especially the staff of the Information Technology Service Division, ITSD. Your leadership in coordinating this complex multi-agency project has ensured a smooth implementation. And to the men and women of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, your determination to adapt and apply these new technologies demonstrate that we are ready for what's next. You have shown that embracing innovation doesn't mean letting go of what works. Let us be clear. This is more than a collection of cameras. This is a force multiplier for public security, public safety. Since its rollout, the CCTV system has aided investigations, provided real-time visibility during emergencies and disaster responses, enhanced our capacity to effectively monitor traffic flows, and acted as a visible deterrent to criminal activities. This is not just a theory. it is already working. Officers on the ground are using this technology daily to make faster, more informed decisions. The world is changing, and so we must change with it. The integration of artificial intelligence into our CCTV network now allows us to strengthen our ability to monitor critical infrastructure and trigger alerts in real time to the Central Operation Center for faster responses. This places us in the frontier of predictive policing, a future where we can intervene before harm is done. More importantly, police officers and staff from the ITSD have benefited from multiple rounds of specialized training by Taiwanese experts, ensuring that they are well equipped to operate and maintain the system effectively. We are not just installing systems, we are building the human capital to manage them. To the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines, this system was built with you in mind. These cameras watch over our schools, our business districts, and our public spaces, not to invade your privacy, not to invade our privacy, but to preserve the public peace. We ask of you, therefore, for your continued support and vigilance to make them work. We urge you to share in the responsibility of keeping the system functional and effective by reporting any acts of vandalism or suspicious tampering with such equipment, and protecting these installations, for they are your investment towards public security. Colleagues, evidence from other Caribbean jurisdictions shows that CCTV coverage plays a meaningful role in reducing violent crimes in targeted areas. We in St. Vincent aim to achieve and exceed these outcomes right here at home. To my fellow police officers, the tools we have today will have been unimaginable just a short decade ago. But tools alone are not enough. It is how we use them. How we use them with integrity, precision, and purpose that will define us in this era. Let us continue to embrace innovation without losing our foundation. Let us train, practice, and apply these systems with the highest professionalism, always remembering that public trust is earned, not assumed. Today marks the official close of Phase 2, but it does not mark the end of the journey. What we have achieved together through diplomacy, dedication, and a desire to improve is the beginning of something greater. A smarter, more nimble police force, a safer nation, and a stronger police-public partnership. On behalf of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, I reaffirm our commitment to maintaining and responsibly managing the CCTV infrastructure. The addition of the bucket truck, which we received today, is a practical step towards supporting this commitment. To the people, to the government and people of the Republic of China and Taiwan, we say thanks again most wholeheartedly. And to the government and people of St. Vincent and Grenadines, we will take this responsibility. We will not take this responsibility lightly. May we go forward with confidence, and may our collective efforts continue to bear the fruit of safety, service, and national pride. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams, for your remarks. Your remarks demonstrated the vital system that we have in our CCTV system, and we are glad to know that your team has embraced it wholeheartedly and is looking forward to who knows what is around the corner with regards to our CCTV system. We will stay tuned. I would now like to invite to the podium Her Excellency Ambassador Fiona Fan, Ambassador of the Republic of China, Taiwan to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to bring her remarks. Let's welcome her, please.
Thank you, Chairperson. Honorable Grenville Williams, Attorney General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Mr. M.V. Williams, Commissioner of Police. Ms. Luann Thomas, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of National Security, and SAS, Naomi Shallow. I also like to recognize ACP Bailey's, representative from ITSD, representative from NEMO, senior government officials, ladies and gentlemen, very pleasant good morning. It is a great honor to be here as we celebrate the successful completion of CCTV project across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I am very proud to see that Commissioner invites his strong team to attend and recognize the importance of this project. This project is not only about technology, it is about the safety of the people that we care. On behalf of our people and government of Republic of China, Taiwan, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Ministry of Finance, Information Technology Service Divisions, and the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force for the unwavering support and invaluable collaboration throughout this journey. Over recent years, we have successfully established a robust CCTV network and the eye surveillance system with nearly 300 outdoor cameras installed across the country, including Union Island and Baguette. I had the privilege of personally joining our hardworking technicians during the installations and maintenance process. I witnessed firsthand the challenges that they faced: climbing utility poles under the scorching sun, navigating busy highways while carrying heavy ladders, working in conditions both physically demanding and potentially dangerous. So that is why we will hand over a bucket truck to ensure the safety of CCTV maintenance fee. As you can see out there. So this is without hesitations. For the safety of those who protect us is a priority. On top of that, license plate recognition and video analysis systems that enable real-time vehicle tracking are also implemented. Crucially, with Taiwan's expertise, we established Getel Police Security Operations Center, which has become an essential hub for maintaining public safety, responding to incidents, and supporting investigations. As the age of AI unfolds, Taiwan is inspired by St. Vincent's and Grenadines' proactive and forward-looking attitude. Given your collaboration with the World Bank and OECS on digital transformation initiatives and the openness to innovation, it is clear that St. Vincent is ready to embrace the digital era. Based on the enduring partnership between Taiwan and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Taiwan is also committed to ensuring that our allies have access to the latest technology advancements and are empowered to fully participate in the digital revolution. Let us continue to move forward, hand in hand toward a safer, smarter, and stronger St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you.
Ambassador, I like that note on which you ended. We are going to continue the collaboration for a safer, smarter, and stronger St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I think we all concur with that. So thank you for your remarks. I would now like to invite to bring his remarks, representing our Minister of Technology. We have our Attorney General, Mr. Grenville Williams. Let's welcome him, please.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
As we can all see, my name is not actually on this program. I was actually just told about this a few minutes ago, and I see I am asked to deliver some remarks. Unlike the persons who spoke before me, I have not been blessed with the opportunity to prepare. So I hope you will bear with me nonetheless. Ambassador Fan, Ambassador of the Republic of China, Taiwan to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and a good friend to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Commissioner of Police, Mr. Enville Williams, and I think St. Vincent and the Grenadines very privileged, because in the office of the Commissioner, you have Enville Williams, and you also have the privilege of the Attorney General being Grenville Williams. So at least one of us should be easy to remember. Of course, the Permanent Secretary, Ms. Loan Thomas, SAS, Shallow, ACP Bailey, and other members of the senior ranks of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, ITSD, NEMO, and I see the private sector here, Cable and Wireless, so I'm sure this would not have been possible without them. And the public-private partnership is, of course, critical to success of our nation. VINLEC also. Again, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here this morning speaking to you on the occasion of not a launch, but a continuation of a program dealing with enhancing public safety with intelligent video analytics, facilitated by our friends in Taiwan. St. Vincent and the Grenadines being positioned in the archipelago of the Caribbean, which stretches between the US continent of North America, Florida Keys, and the South America continent, Venezuela, Colombia, Guyana. We are in a zone that is very vulnerable to criminality, simply because of our geographic location. And why do I say this? In South America, we have the producers of narcotics. In North America and Europe, we have the consumers. But in order for those narcotics to get there, there must be a space in which they are moved. And the Caribbean, being islands, being spaces with significant waters between them, presents just such a corridor. And then we have, of course, our own domestic issues. And what does that mean for us here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? It means that we must take a very comprehensive approach to combating criminality. First and foremost, we need a very professional, well-trained, well-equipped police force here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And most times, we do not recognize the efforts of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. Because while most of the population, they have the opportunity to go home at nights and rest comfortably, the persons who are always working to keep us safe and to keep St. Vincent and the Grenadines safe is the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. Professionalism is important. Training is important. And we have two regional entities, CARICOM Impacts and the Regional Security System, along with the Police Training School here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that continuously provide opportunities for the knowledge, skills, competencies, and capacity of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force to be enhanced. But while our police force is building its capacity, building its knowledge, building its skills, we have a population of 110,000 persons, and we have 32 islands and keys, and roughly 1,000 police officers. It means that the demands on these persons, whether they are policemen, policewomen, the senior ranks, are great. Police officers cannot be everywhere at once. Combating crime requires a whole of society approach. Keeping St. Vincent and the Grenadines safe is not just the job of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. It is the job of every citizen and every person who visits St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But how are we going to assist the police to do their jobs more effectively? We need to provide them, in addition to the training and the capacity building, with equipment. One of the things lamented by the police sometimes is that they do not have sufficient transportation. And there may be some truth to that. I can't see whether it's so or not. Sometimes we have to assess our resources and determine whether or not we're using them most efficiently and effectively. More is not always better. But we look at technology, and one of the ways that we can assist is through the use of CCTV footage, through the use of video recordings. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, many years ago, when I was at the FIU, we passed legislation here that allowed for video recording of interviews. And oftentimes people would want to say that the police use coercive measures to collect their statements, to get information from witnesses. But with the advent of that legislation, with the implementation of the technology in the interview rooms, we were able to mitigate and manage that claim and ensure that when the police is given evidence, there is less opportunity for the defense to challenge that evidence on that basis. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the OECS and Barbados is actually the leading nation in the use of video recorded interviews. One of the questions that have arisen in the judiciary is whether or not video recordings and photographs captured on cameras, but more importantly, via your camera on your cell phone device, can be utilized in the courts. And outside of our jurisdiction in the United Kingdom, in Canada, jurisprudence has been developed that says once you can verify the integrity of the technology, even if it is your personal camera, as a police officer, you can use the evidence captured there. Because you need to use the best evidence. And why am I speaking about technology? Because today's launch, that of the intelligent video analytics, gives us another avenue. It extends the coverage of CCTV footage across St. Vincent and the Grenadines that could be monitored, captured, and utilized by the police, first and foremost to keep us safe. Because if we are investigating a crime, something has already gone wrong. And we want to promote St. Vincent and the Grenadines as one of the safest places in the Caribbean. Not only should the Caribbean be known as a zone of peace and stability, which fosters our economic development, but St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we want to be a leading light in the security sector. We want it to be said that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the safest island in the Caribbean and one of the safest places in the world. Security and stability and economic development go hand in hand. If we have a safe country, we could dedicate our resources to building our education, ensuring that the education revolution, where there is the vision to have one university graduate in every household in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, become a reality sooner rather than later. Education is the foundation on which economic development takes place. So if we are able to dedicate resources to education, dedicate resources to healthcare, we can foster economic development in this country. We are on a path to develop our tourism sector even further. We've had an enabling environment created by the Argyle International Airport. Recently, we've seen sandals coming here and helping St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be known more globally in the tourism sector. There are plans to launch another sandals, and we have another major hotel development coming on the leeward side. When anybody sees an ad of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and they do their research, they must see that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a peaceful place, and that should encourage them to come to enjoy the beauty of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Our beauty is not just our physical surroundings, but also our people. And our people must be kept safe. Today, and over the last few weeks, we've had an opportunity to advance our national security in this country. We've seen the expansion through collaboration with our friends from Taiwan, through ITSD, through VINLEC, not CWSA, but rather FLO and other utility providers, the installation of these devices. I was just speaking with the commissioner, and while we want to manage the flow of information around these devices, I think it's important that we let the public know that these devices have been installed so that they are aware that there is a camera that catches and reflects their actions. Again, if I reference my time at the FIU, one of the major cases that we did there included cooperation with the jurisdiction of Bermuda, and through a mutual legal assistance request, we were able to obtain evidence from Bermuda. Part of the evidence obtained from Bermuda was captured on CCTV. We saw the individuals going into a particular store. In that store, there was actually cameras too. So we saw what they were able to purchase. We saw how they operated by going on a particular boat in the port in Bermuda. And that was a very useful piece of evidence that strengthened that particular case and led to a successful conviction. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, now more than ever, we have an enhanced opportunity to utilize such technology to put that evidence before the court. And I have been advised that there have been numerous requests for the footage so far, and we have been able to provide that footage, and it has been ably assisting investigations of the police. Oftentimes, when we are prosecuting cases, we rely on eyewitness evidence. Most of us know sometimes we see something, but actually, upon reflection, what we thought we saw was something very different. Yes? And the more time there is between you actually recording that evidence, giving that evidence, the more likely that your mind is going to see something different. There's a saying that the pen is mightier than the memory because it is recorded. A video recording is going to be much mightier than the eyewitness, and certainly is going to complement those eyewitnesses when we are required to give evidence and it has been captured using the system, therefore enhancing our capacity to prosecute, investigate, and prosecute crimes here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The successful prosecution of crimes is critical to the criminal justice system, but also enhancing justice. Because if persons who are inclined to commit crimes realize that we are going to have this type of forensic evidence against them, they are going to think twice and reconsider their action. So these cameras would actually serve as a preventative measure, not simply capturing crime, but discouraging and dissuading persons from undertaking criminal activities to begin with. And that's a significant impact. Overall, I want to commend the Commissioner of Police and all of the men serving under his command for taking this important step forward. I know as part of this initiative, there's also the use of some body cameras. And again, when the police interact with persons, suspects, persons involved in criminality, a lot of members of the public like to pull out their phones and record the police and the actions. And sometimes we see the police, I would not say the police use disproportionate force. I would say sometimes the video make it appear that way. What I would say is that those videos do not always accurately capture what transpired because we don't see the event from the beginning to the end. We see a very small snippet of what happens and we form our judgment based upon that snippet without looking at the overall picture of what happened. With these body cameras, hopefully we are going to manage some of that, where now you are going to get a full picture so we could share this with the public and show them it's not that the police operated in an aggressive, belligerent way, but they had to act in a defensive manner and use proportionate force where the suspect was resisting arrest. It is going to keep the suspect safer, it is going to keep society safer, and it is going to ensure the integrity of the police operations. So commendations to the police again for taking this step forward. Again, thank you very much to our friends from Taiwan who are always willing to share their knowledge, share their expertise, share their technology. And we have been friends for a very long time, and I hope we will continue to strengthen that friendship in perpetuity. Certainly the private sector, Flo, I want to thank you for collaborating with the government in this private-public partnership. Also, ITSD for doing the work, and any of the agencies that I have not mentioned, I do not have all of them on this list. But forgive me, as I said, I did not have the opportunity to prepare. So it's not that I want to ignore you or not recognize you. So everybody who contributed in some way, I want to extend my appreciation. To the media, I believe it's mainly API here. Thank you very much for being here. But you have an important role to play. You have to educate the public as to the purpose of the implementation and the utilization of this technology and of the good work being done by the police as well. To the Ministry of National Security, thank you, because of course we have to have the right policies and the right programs in place to continue to move forward in keeping St. Vincent and the Grenadines safe and secure. And to all of you, the police, I look forward to continue working with you. I thank you for your continued contribution to safety and security in this country. As I started out by saying, oftentimes your contribution is not recognized, your hard work is not recognized, but I want you to know that without you, we would not have the peaceful nation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and you must continue to do your excellent work. Again, thank you very much for having me here today.
Thank you very much, Attorney General Williams. It's difficult to believe that you were just informed a few minutes ago. If you were not, I shudder to think how long we would have been here. But thank you very much for those remarks. And we understand from your perspective, the legal perspective, that you too have embraced this system. It's a very vital system to all of us as citizens and visitors of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Continuing with your recognition, I know we will have an official vote of thanks coming up at the end of the ceremony of the celebrations, as I've called them. But just to recognize also Digicel, NIS, these are also corporate partners of this system, KFC. We recognize also the police telecom staff. You are very vital in this whole, a very vital cog in this whole wheel of the CCTV system. We also recognize today the contractor, Mr. DeBeek, and Braxa. As I said, we would have a full official vote of thanks at the end of the celebrations. I would now like to invite members of the head table, if you can journey across to the bucket truck as we have the official handover at this time.
The installation of about 100 CCTV cameras, 30 PTZs, and 30 LPR cameras. Just to give you an idea, these were installed in various locations in and around Kingston, and they were also extended to places like Villa Fountain, Otley Hall, Belle Isle, Mespo, Calaqua. And we are so happy that this phase we were able to do an expansion in the Grenadines. So we have cameras also in Beckway and Union Island. I don't know how much you could see from the back because of the light, but here is just the cameras and the different equipment that we had in storage at the time. And this is basically the work that, or part of the work that was being done in various locations. You heard about the truck. We are so happy that we have the truck now because as you can see, the guys have to climb ladders to go up on tall buildings, on poles, etc. And of course, the safety is always a concern to us, their physical safety. We also have, as was mentioned, renovations in the Information Technology Services Division, our main server room where the floors and the ceilings were done. We also have the expansion, or I should say, it was an expansion, but it was also renovation of the operations center, which you would have the privilege of seeing a little bit later. And this was work in progress, and basically this is a picture of how it is now. So let's look at training. We had a number of training that were conducted during this phase 2. Some of them are the image recognition and analysis. Of course, putting in all these devices, all these cameras, etc., we have to have a way of knowing how they operate, how we can maintain them, how we can sustain them. So we had staff from the police force and also ITSD who were trained in these areas. I don't know why I'm clicking this thing so fast, but maybe because I say I'm going to be short, I'm trying to speed up. Okay, so we also were concerned about the health and safety in regards to occupational safety for our workers as well. So a number of civil servants were exposed to this training as well. The maintenance, the management systems and project management. It is all well to have a number of projects going on during the year, but of course, we thought it fit that personnel should also be trained in project management, knowing how to manage all the different initiatives that we have going on. And this training was also extended not just to the police force and ITSD, but for a number of public servants across the government. This was one of the highlights of the project in terms of training. I don't know how many of you present here had the privilege of participating in the Digital Cities and Cybersecurity Forum that was held at Beachcombers just about 2 months ago in May. This was really a very, very great forum. It was not just a national forum, but we had representatives from international and regional organizations as well. So from the United States Embassy, from the World Bank, from the Caribbean Telecoms Union, from the OECS, and of course from our national stakeholders here. And of course, we had training in the eye surveillance system, which is the system that actually manages and monitors all the cameras that we have installed. So the capacity to have the live video sharing in different areas, so it was mentioned already that live footage can also be requested, whether it's by civilian or by a particular set of stakeholders. Of course, you will do the proper process in order to get this done. So we realized that it is not just go to monitor what's happening on the road, for example, with the safety. Let's say, for example, vehicular traffic. It would not make sense if you can see a vehicle passing on the road, maybe doing a speed, at a speed that you're not supposed to, or an accident happen, and you cannot even identify the license plate. So one of the things that we ensured that the phase 2 would have captured is how to recognize the license plates from vehicle. So this also was a part of the system that was installed. So basically those were the areas, but I just want to mention 2 things because I know we have our representative here from NEMO. We know that the CCTV camera is basically for the national security of our citizens and also visitors who come to our shows. However, we like to let you know that there are other functions that can be made use of. So let's take NEMO for example. We know we are in the hurricane disaster season, and there are some specific places in our country that might be, let's say, prone to floods or landslides, etc. And NEMO would have an idea of some of those places. So what can be arranged between the police and also NEMO is, I'm going to say, of course it has to be formal, which would happen afterwards, where a feed can be organized from the police to the National Emergency Management Office, that they can see real time what is happening in certain flood-prone or disaster areas. So no longer that, of course it will not happen in all the areas because we do not have the cameras in every single location, but in certain places where there are cameras available, then NEMO can take advantage of that and know before they even go out into the field, they can actually see what is happening in terms of disaster, and they could prepare themselves even more efficiently to go out to deal with those things. So those are some of the services that can be extended to this security service. Also, we could even use footage. The Tourism Authority can use footage, for example, when we have cruise ship coming in at the cruise ship. But then you can also use footage of that for tourism, marketing, etc. So even though the main purpose of this project or the cameras are basically for national security, we are just saying we can collaborate with other stakeholders to expand the use of the system which we already have in place. Okay? So I'll just like to let you know that we have been making use of all the trainings that we would have had. Our staff have been attending the trainings. They have already been implementing some of the training in terms of the maintenance and the use, not just of the cameras, but also of the system. And we will just continue to work with the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police. So when I say we, I mean at ITSD, we will continue to work with the police force in enhancing this project. And also we thank the Republic of China, Taiwan, for the support that they have been giving us, not just in this phase, but also the previous phase that we have. I like to say, like Inspector Rodney, I don't know if there's another phase coming on, phase 3, but of course we will definitely look forward to it, and we would also welcome that. So thank you very much.